No, these were already here. No. Yes, and I brought flip-flops.
It has to do with the video. Somewhere I am.
Okay.
Somewhere I'm allowing for video and I shouldn't.
Yeah, click OK.
Yeah.
Because you don't want this to join this video.
Yeah, but where did I? Do I need to start all over?
No, you should be okay.
Okay.
So go ahead and click view. Go ahead and those two, just go ahead and admit them up there. It's okay, just like yeah. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to share your screen. It's when you go and put join on this.
Yeah.
There's that, it says join with video. And then it says join without video. And the join without video is always like gray. So it probably looks like you can't text it. Yes.
Not with video. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so now we're going to share the screen.
Yeah, okay. Is there, okay, that's where I'm doing it.
Yeah. And then you can reclaim post.
Go to Chrome. No. Wait a minute, I gotta reclaim. Go to Chrome, right?
You got it.
No, wait. I gotta reclaim house.
Yep. And then go back up here and do Chrome up here. Good?
There's my extra note, not with video.
Yes. So when it comes up here and it says
I just want to make sure I'm not choosing the one with
it,
video.
even though it's hard because that's the blue one.
That's blue.
That's the one that's blue. The one below it is gray. You can still hit it.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Which camera is it?
What?
This one?
I don't have to, right here.
Oh.
I don't put it up there. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, hopefully tomorrow I don't have to bother you. Good morning, everyone.
I didn't really get it.
Okay, remember, you're checking your email and then you're getting into Math Minute 5 today.
What is it? Is there anybody else who has anything needs to go to the office? Yes, you may. Thank you. Those of you at home, check your email and then get into Math Minute 5. You should find it in your Google Classroom. Hopefully it opens up for you today.
Oh my God. You guys all pick up your baskets? That's what it looks like. Two back here. Two, green line.
What are you, better part? Well, actually not done, but actually done. Oh, here we go. I didn't know what a nun is. Yes, I do. I was scared. Oh, good morning. Oh, no, don't talk about that. I see water with church every time we go. Okay, eat up today. I see, you're in my drink. Oh, welcome. It is. They got a church. Oh, I'm so nice. Oh, my God, it's so.
Okay, so you have checked your email, you have picked up your math stuff, and you are working on Math 5.
Those of you at home, check your email, and then we're working on Math Minute 5, which you find in Google Classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, here Check your email, Math Minute 5, make sure you picked up your math books.
Good morning. Will you please rise and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
So we're off our
I
Chromebooks
pledge
now.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing at this time for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Today is Thursday, August the 20th.
We're off our Chromebooks while announcements are going on.
Crispy chicken nuggets with cheddar goldfish, french fries, strawberry kiwi sorbet, and milk. And that's all the announcements. Thank you.
Okay, we're back to business then, but anytime announcements are giving, we're off our Chromebooks, we're paying attention to announcements. We're back to our Math Minute 5, please. Thank you. Dante, you have a question?
Yes, I
No,
don't
hold
get
on a second, Dante. Go ahead.
number
Pardon me?
I don't get number 8
Okay, just do your best on all that you can, and we'll be going over all these answers here in just a little bit, okay?
because it's just a 3 random numbers and then you have to do 3 more.
Okay. Dante, you're looking for a pattern. Does that help you? Okay.
Since you would have noticed the two papers that were on your desk having to do with picture day, those need to go in your take-home folders and need to be taken home to your parents, please.
Yes, Dante?
When if we finish, do we just read a book?
Yeah, we're about ready to go over the answers here. But anytime we have a math minute, everybody's going to finish at a different time. So I try to kind of look and see when most people are done, then we'll start going over it.
Okay, because I just finished it.
Okay, so you just need to wait patiently, okay? Because we've got a big group here that I'm trying to accommodate, okay? Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go over the answers to our math quiz. Please be making corrections along the way. So for number one, what you come up with for an answer? Number one, quick, and it's Cesar? What's the division? Yes, it is 5, sorry. Five is correct. How about number 2, 10 times 4? Audra? Is 40.
Zane, you have a question?
Oh, I was
Zane,
trying
did
to
you?
answer that question.
Pardon?
I was trying to answer number 2.
Okay, I'm sorry. How about number 3? Zane, do you want to answer it?
Is it 1,800?
Not quite, but you're close. You're close. Lane?
18,000?
It is 18,000 because we would need to multiply 18 by 1,000. So 18,000. 18,000.
Oh,
Okay. Number four. Hand up if you circled yes. If you circled yes. Okay. Correct answer there is no. How can we know the answer is no without doing a long division problem? Without doing a long division problem. How do we know the answer is no? Ezra.
Because if you multiply by 5, like, once you do the 100 is 500, and even though it will get to 9, it will just go to 95, then to the, like, 1,000. So exactly.
Okay, sort of. You're not exactly there, Lane. Sort of. That would be hard with 917. Okay, even I would have trouble determining if 917 is prime just by looking at it. Finley?
If you kept adding 5, you have to add to 0 or 5.
Yeah. If we think of our multiples of 5, it's always going to end in a 0 or 5. Start counting in your head by 5s. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It always ends in a 0 or 5, right? So if it's going to be divisible by 5, it has to end in a 0 or a 5. And 917 doesn't end in a 0 or a 5. So the answer would have to be no. Number 5, when we add those together, what is our sum? Diana, is that right?
71.
71. Number 6. How do we know that this is our largest number? How would we know that's our largest number? How would we describe that to somebody? Peyton?
It has 3 commas, and the other one has 2 and 1.
Okay, so it has the largest number of place values filled in. It has the largest number of place values filled in. Yes, the largest number of place values filled in. Okay. And number 7, we want a fraction for the number of shaded squares. A fraction for the number of shaded squares. Mallory?
Miss Adams.
2/5. Somebody's writing this down. Dante?
Which one are we on?
We're on number 7, 2/5.
So,
2 of them are shaded out of the 5.
yeah. Are we on number 8 and 9?
We're on number 7.
Okay.
Yes. Do you see that on my paper? Can you see the paper on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, we're on number 7, 2/5. Okay?
Okay.
Number 8, we're looking for a pattern there. What are the next 3 numbers? What do you think the next 3 numbers are, Eduardo? I can't hear what you're saying.
For a dollar or do we have to keep it?
Number 8, what are the next 3 numbers?
For a dollar,
No, number 8, not 9, 8.
48, 40,
48, 40, and then what?
42.
All right, and by the way, I am writing large so you can see it. Does that make sense? You guys should not, you should get it on the line. Does everybody understand that? Okay. All right, now, Eduardo, I want you, I'm getting pretty good at that name, Eduardo, come on. Oh, quit telling me that. Come on. Give me credit, give me credit. Am I in a B even? Tell me what you were looking at to come up with those. How did you come up with those numbers? What was the pattern? No, we're on number 8, sir. I know, get on number 8, will you? What was the pattern? How did you know how to find those 3 numbers? You didn't tell me what your pattern was. Jonathan? 8 doesn't tell me anything. You shouted out 8. That doesn't tell me the pattern. Not Hayden, I know that. Is it Adam? Adam?
You're subtracting by 8.
Subtracting 8 each time? Anybody see any other words we could use for that? I'm trying not to look at the name on the desk. I'm trying to come up with it. Cesar? Okay, so we're doing the reverse of the multiples of 8. All right, good. Now we're going to look at the table. We're to complete the table first. So we have $2, $4, $6. Then what? Audra? $8. Keep going, Audra. And $10. And how did you know it was $8 and $10? $8 and $10, Audra?
Because it always went up.
It was going up by twos. Raffle tickets. It went 5, 10, 15. What would our next value be, Ezra?
20, 25.
And how did you know those were 20 and 25?
It was 125.
Okay, so our multiples of 5 were being used there. All right? Notice I'm using words like multiples. You guys hearing that? Okay? All right, so how many tickets would $8 buy? How many tickets would $8 buy? $8. Ezra?
20.
20 tickets. And how many tickets would $10 buy? Finley? 25 tickets. And I should have put dollar signs here. There we go. Put dollar signs there. All right. Questions on any of that? Anybody have questions for me? Okay. So at this point in time then, who can tell me what we need to do? Do we all send these off to Mrs. Allen so I can see them?
No.
No. I don't want my emails exploding, right? What do we do? Piper, you knew what to do with it, right?
We write down on our folder.
We don't write it down in our folders. Nice try. Evan, what do you think we do with it? We go to our binder and record it on 5, right? Yesterday we recorded on Math Minute 6. This is Math Minute 5, so make sure you go to 5. Today is 8:20. And you record your score there. So guys at home, go to your math binder. And behind tab 2, you should have a minute log there. Where's your log, sir? Peyton, where's your log? Is that your math?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
It should be back in your cubby. Did you get it out of your cubby? All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into our math book and pick up where we left off with our notes yesterday. So yesterday we were on page 6, and we talked about our patterns that we saw, and we got those patterns written down. So everybody should have those patterns written down, correct? Okay. So we talked about, and I'm just going to do a quick abbreviation here when I get my pen rolling. And am I correct? I need to be in blue for you guys to see the back. Okay. We talked about the pattern that you see moving from a lesser place value position to a greater place value position. We need it to be multiplying by 10. Is that correct? Okay. So I'm just abbreviating all that business. Okay. And then we talked about when we went from a greater place value to a lesser place value, we needed to multiply by 1/10 because it got smaller, right? Okay, we had a sentence there. Okay, so with that in mind, then, okay, we're going to continue on with some tables, and we're going to apply what our sentences said and what we discovered when we used these as our pictures, right? Okay, so we knew that 10 of the smaller cubes made up the long stick, and 10 of the long sticks made up the flat, and 10 flats made up the larger cube. Okay? So our whole number system is based on groups of 10. All right? Okay? So as we take a look at this, when we set it up like this, it is also our place values up there. Okay, our chart up there, but this is our place values chart. Okay? So when we take a look at this, we can take a look at the fact that the hundreds, this is 300, okay? 300, 0 tens, and 0 ones. All right? Does that make sense? Questions? Anybody? If we go this direction, we take a look at the fact that we have 1/10 in that comparison, but 10 times as much going the other direction. Are we understanding that concept? Okay? This is 10 times as much as that. Do we understand that? But this is 1/10 as much as that. Because this is smaller, and this is larger. If it's smaller, then it's a fraction of it. If it's larger, then it is 10 times as much the next unit. Does that make sense? Okay? So when we take a look down here, I think in your book it says 10 times the number, doesn't it? Okay. So if our number is 10 and we went 10 times the number, well, 10 times 10 is what? 10 times 10 is what? 100. $70 times 10 is what?
7,000.
Not 7,000, but nope. Have you guys ever done the hang the zero out? One times 0 is 0, 1 times 7 is 7. Have you ever done that? Yeah. So it's 700. Okay. The other thing we need to remember from yesterday, any number times 10, there's a decimal point over one place. Remember that from yesterday? And if there's nothing there, we need to fill in with a 0. Chester. 70 times 10. I can't write any bigger, or I can't get it in the box. Does that make sense? So the last one, 9,000 times 10 gives us, well, if I've got 9,000 times 10, I have to move the decimal point over one place, right? There's nothing there, so I need to fill in with a 0, right? That makes it 90,000. 90,000. Okay? Are we good with that? Any questions on that? So I'm going to clear this off so that I can write big and do the 1/10 business. Does that make sense? Okay? The 1/10. If I'm doing 1/10 times 10, 1/10 times 10, well, here's my 10. I'm getting smaller by one place value. So that is equal to 1. And you guys can get it in that box, right? Or close to it. If I am doing 1/10, I'm going to change colors so that you can tell I'm doing another problem, times 70, I'm going to go one place value to the left, so that's going to give me 7. Is that making sense? Okay. I'm going to switch colors again. If I have 9,000 times that 1/10, I'm going to go one place to the left because it's moving over one place value to the left, right? And that's going to give me 900. Are we clear on that? Any questions from anyone? Okay. So, 10 times it makes it larger, 1/10 of it makes it smaller by one place value. Because it's groups of 10, that decimal point is moving left or right. If the number's getting smaller, then the decimal point has to move left to get smaller. If the number's getting larger, then the decimal point has to move right to get larger. So if you want, over here, you could do a decimal point right and a decimal point left. You can do those little arrows above and below, if that helps you remember it. So in your notes, you should have things written down to help you go back and refer to it. Every morning, I have my notes to set all this business up so that I can record. I refer to it every morning so I don't miss a step. Okay? My guess is by the end of the day, you won't necessarily remember to do the right and the left. So put that right above so you remember you're going to go right or left. That'll help you, and you can go back and refer to your notes. I have another set of notes up here with this computer because my notes need to go with this computer. They don't go back there with that computer. They go with this computer. So I have my little sticky note right here with this computer so I know how to do those steps with this computer. So you're not going to put those arrows somewhere up here on the page. Does it go with this problem? No, it goes right here with these examples. So you're going to put it right above there because in an assignment, you might have a table just like this. And you're going, I don't know how to do. Oh, but we did do an example like that in class. So you're going to go back to the example like we did in class, and you can see what we did. You can match it up. That's why we take notes in class. Does that make sense? Okay? And this year you have the capability of going back and looking at me all over again. You can go to your virtual classroom and click on that YouTube and see me all over again. Because you all like to watch me again every day, over and over again. Right? Woohoo! Believe you me, I'm not watching myself over and over again. But if you're stuck, that's another way you can look at it again. But take your notes and go back and refer to it. That's why we take notes. So you have an example to follow. Okay? All right? Questions on that? Okay. Let me clear that off. Let me see if I can find the next page here. Oh, there was a calendar. Let's do that. Can I go to, oh, there's the next page. All right. Now I have to work with some wording. Wording. Okay? Now, in our wording, $500 is 10 times as much as. The word is means equals. Equals. 500 equals 10 times something. When I got done, I had 500. So this is my larger amount. Does that make sense? When I got done, I multiplied by 10, so I got larger. Does that make sense? So this has to be smaller than that. Does that make sense? Because if I got larger, I had to be smaller to get larger, right? So what am I going to be multiplying by? would it be 50? Let's check that out. If I take 50 and multiply by 10, I'd have to move the decimal point over one place. There's an opening. Does it give me 500? It sure does. Excellent. Do you see what I just did? Okay. Did you write that down? All right. You have space right there that you can write all that kind of stuff down. I'm writing it nice and big out here so you can actually see it. Okay? Yes. But then you can't see the whole page. So I'm trying to leave the whole page up there, and I'll write nice and big out here so you can see it. Does that make sense? Okay? Number 2, 20,000 equals is 1/10 of times some number. If I'm using 1/10, I got larger or smaller? Smaller. This is smaller than that, so this has to be the larger number. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this is the larger number, and I start out at 20,000. How do I make this larger? I don't, do I? I want to take this, right? It's my smaller number. I want this to be larger, right? What did I have to do to get this smaller? I took some number and did what with it? I multiplied this by 1/10, which meant that to get smaller, I moved the decimal point where? Where did I move the decimal point? I moved it to the left one place, didn't I? Okay? If I moved it 1 to the left to get to here, then it had to start out here, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Everybody understand that? So this number has to be 200,000. Questions on that? Yes.
So I looked back at what we did on the other page, and I was thinking, I was like, it's probably that number, but I was still thinking.
Let's take a look at number 3. 900 equals 1/10 times of some number. Is this going to be the smaller number or the larger number? It's going to be smaller. This is going to be the larger. So when we get done, we're going to have this number, right? But to get there, we had to move the decimal where? To the left one. We had to go like that, didn't we? Which means we had a 0 in there, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Number 4. 600 is or equals 10 times as much as some number. Is this the smaller number or the larger number? This is the larger number. So this has to be the smaller number. So if we ended up with 600, what did we do to get there? What did we do to get there? Yeah, we had moved it one to the right, didn't we? We went like that, didn't we? So where was it to start with? It was right here, wasn't it? So we started with 60. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Does it help to put the words larger and smaller in there to help you think through it?
Yeah.
Would that help you when you work on it yourself?
So that you need to put the answer to the smaller number
Okay? All right. You're not just staring at a bunch of numbers going, oh, I'm not sure there. You're thinking through it. You know what you're looking for. So if you had put 6,000 in here, would that make sense?
No.
No, because you can already go, no, it's got to be smaller than 600, right?
Yeah.
All right. Questions, anybody? All right. So that finishes up what we worked on yesterday, okay? Which ties in with what today's lesson is as well, okay? All right, but we're clear on this business, is that correct? Okay. So when we look at page 9, do you see this table? Does that match up with what we practiced today? Okay, so you can go back and match it up. Do you see this wording right here? Does it match up with what we just practiced? So you can go back and take a look at that. Are we clear on that? Okay. While we're looking at page 9, part of your assignment is to do down through 10. All right? So while we're on page 9, go ahead and draw a line across there and put stop right there, okay? All right? And I'll go over what the whole assignment is when we're all done with the next lesson, okay? Does that make sense? All right. So, moving on. Next page, up there. We want on page 11. Page 11, place value. I'm going to make the assumption you guys know your place values to a degree, and this should be kind of a review lesson today, and that's why I felt like I could continue yesterday's and get today's in. All right. So we look at our place values. We all know that we have the ones place, the tens, the hundreds, the ones, tens, hundreds, those just keep repeating. What changes is the periods. And we separate them all by commas. Right? Okay? So don't feel like that as they're showing, particularly when we went over that math minute and somebody said, well, there's more commas in these numbers than in others. I think that was you, Peyton, wasn't it? Did you say that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you guys have an understanding of, we group them by groups of 3. Put commas in. Okay? So, a couple things that we will be pointing out today is the different word forms that we can use, the different ways we can write numbers. But again, I don't think that is brand new to you because you're in 5th grade. So you've been introduced a lot of things along the way. We have what is called standard form, word form, and expanded form. The expanded form that we're going to use is the multiplication and addition. Standard form is how we normally see numbers written. When you say write a number down, most of you think of standard form. It's all digits. Okay? Word form is exactly what it means. You write it out in words. Okay? Expanded form. The expanded form that we're going to use is the value times its place value. Okay, so we pull out the digit. The 5 is in the 100,000s place, so 5 times 100,000. The next one is an 8. 8, whoops, I keep these red. 8 multiplied by, it's in the 10,000s place. So 8 times 10,000. Thank you for writing. The next digit is a 2. It's in the thousands place. So 2 times 1,000. 8 times 10,000, Cecil. Now, we don't have to put 0 times something. We don't need to do that. That's 0. The next non-zero digit is a 3. So 3 times 10 because it's in the tens place. And then again, we don't have to put 0 times something. So that's how we write expanded form. So those are the 3 forms that we're going to be working with. Standard form, how we normally see numbers written, using all digits. Word form, you write out all the words. Expanded form, the digit multiplied by its place value. Plus, the next digit multiplied by its place value. Plus, okay? Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Now, do I expect you to be able to spell numbers correctly? Yes, I do. I sure do. In your binders, you have a paper that has the number words written out, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what color the page is. I think it's on the back of one of them. I'm going to say it might be the purple one. And, no, it's the green one. There are lots of number words there. It's on the green one. The back of the green one has lots of number words there. Okay? So, in your binders, the back of the green reference sheet has lots of number words there. Okay? You don't have to get it out. You just know it's there. And that if you're having trouble spelling the word, it's there. Now, hyphenated words are 21, 33, 32. Okay? So any of your 10s put with the 1s place have a hyphen in it. Does that make sense? Okay? So would 98 be hyphenated? Would the word 98 be hyphenated? Yes.
It kicked
Okay.
me off and turned back up, and it was like in half of the session.
Zane, what are you saying?
So, when we got finished with the minute 5, it kicked me off, and now I just went back about half of the session that we're on.
Okay, so we're recording, so later today, when I get it on YouTube, you will have to look at the lesson, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So, when you're writing your number words, you'll have to hyphenate, like in the 20s. If you do anything with 20, 21 is hyphenated, 22, 23, 24, all the way to 29. So, anytime you're putting a tens, well, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on, you will have to make sure that you are hyphenating those words. Questions on that? All right. Let's do some practice on this today. Here we go. Page 12. On page 12, we are combining what we did yesterday with our place value business. Okay? Anybody read this? Anybody read this number for us? Wait.
4 million.
4 million. 4 million is like times as much as 40,000. 40,000. Okay? Well, here's 4 million. And we're going for 40,000, right? Okay? So let's take what we worked on. This is the smaller and this is the larger, right? This is times right in there, right? So we're multiplying this number, right? To get to this one, right? This is the smaller number. And we're trying to get to the larger number, right? Yes? Okay? When I look at this number and I look at this number, I have to go over a total of 2 places, right, to get to it? Yes? Do you see that? So I need to go over 2 places to get there, right? When I went over one place, I had to multiply by 10. Does that make sense? Back to what I talked about earlier today, right? When I go over one more place, I have to multiply by 10. Does that make sense? If I multiply by 10 and then again multiply by 10, what's 10 times 10? So 4 million is 100 times as much as 40,000. So instead of just doing it by 10, we're now looking at 10 times 10 or 100 times. Does that make sense? So when I was up here, my 40,000 was there. My 4 million is here. I needed to shift this over twice, right? I needed to go times 10 to get it over here, right? Yes, are you following me? Does that make sense? Okay, are you seeing the connection? Okay. So we look at example 2. This 4 is 4 10,000s, or 4 times 10,000. Would you agree with that? Or it is 40 thousands. You see how they highlighted the 40? Or 40 times 1,000. Would that make sense? Or it is 400 hundreds. Does that make sense? Hundreds, because that 400 landed in the hundred spot. Does that make sense? Which would be 400 times 100. Are you taking notes? So we can rename it using other place values, depending on where you want to end. Does that make sense? Okay. So when you think about money, how many different ways can you have $10? You could have 10 ones. You could have one $10 bill, right? So you have 10 ones or a 10. Okay? How many ways could you have $100? $101 bills, or 10 $10 bills, or $100 bill? All right? So depending on what place value you're wanting to use, we could name it differently. Does that help you understand this a little bit? Okay? All right. So when we take a look at this place value chart, this is thousands period. Oh. This is thousands period, and you need to pay attention to what period you are in, because they all have ones, tens, and hundreds in them, right? So this is 300,000. So it's 3 times 100,000. This is 3 ones, but it's in the thousands place, so it's 3 times 1,000. This is 2 tens, so it's 2 times 10. So for the bottom one now, they want it in standard form. So they want to see 7 times a million would be 7 million. 3 times 100,000 would be 300,000. 8 times 100 would be 800. And the others are already filled in for you. Any questions on how to fill that table out? Anybody? Yes, question? Are you stretching? Okay. All right. The next set of instructions says write the value. The value. Value means the worth. What is it worth? What is it worth? What's the value of your house? What's the value of your car? What's the value of your toy? What's the value of your bike? What is it worth? Does that make sense? Okay. This doesn't say place value. This says the value. So don't confuse the two. Don't read through it. What's the value? Okay? So what is the value of the 4? What is the value of the 4? What is that 4 worth? Finley.
4,000.
It is worth 4,000. It is worth 4,000. Number 3, what's the value of the 1? What is that 1 worth? Jonathan? 100. Good. Number 4, what is the value of the 9? What is the 9 worth? Mallory? 90,000. And number 5, what is the value of the 3? What is the 3 worth? Diana? 300 million. Are there questions on that section? Okay. In number 6, we're going to write the number in 2 other forms. This is expanded form, which means now we need to write standard form and word form. When I look at this, this says 8 times 100,000. That means I have 6 blanks to fill in for, because I have 100,000 going on there. The 8 has to go in the 100,000th place. Plus 4 times 1,000. That 4 has to go in what place value?
That 1,000.
The 1,000th place. Plus 6 times 1. What place value does the 6 have to go in? Finley? The 1's place. What do I do with all these other blanks? What do I do with all these other blanks? Lane? Zeros. Do you see why it's important to put those blanks there? If I didn't, I'd just have my 8, my 4, my 6 hanging around. Those blanks are going to be important. Put them down, fill in the digits that you know where they go, and then go back and fill in with zeros. Do you understand that? Okay? Now the wording. 804. Comma, because I'm coming through a period, the thousands period. 6. I'm done. Okay? Now, when I look at number 7, I have the word form. I'm looking for standard form and expanded form. I know I have period. And it's 7 million. That means I have 3 blanks in the thousands and 3 blanks in the ones period. Again, put your blanks there so you know you've got those to fill in for. Okay? 7 million, 20,000. Where's that 20 going to go, Kaylin?
You're gonna put it, like, not the one right after 7, but the next.
32. Where's the 32 going to go? Where's the 32 going to go? Finley.
The last 2.
And what do I do with my other 2 blanks? Piper.
Put 0.
There you go. Do you see the importance of having blanks down? If you don't, you're going to miss the fact that those zeros need to be in there. Okay? Now the expanded form. 7 million. 7 times a million. Plus, what's the value of the 2? 2 times what? What place value is it in? Quick, what place value? 10. 10,000. 2 times 10,000. Plus, how about the 3? 3 times what? What's the place value of the 3? 10. Plus, 2 times. What's the place value of the 2? Come on. Valerie? 1. There's your expanded form. Is this going to be easy enough for you? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Okay. You have examples to follow. Make sure you go back to your notes and follow them. Okay? Don't just stare at the book and go, I have no idea how to do it. All the directions match up with what we've done in class. Does that make sense? So you can go back and look at examples. All right? Okay. So your assignment, I already talked about page 9, 1 through 10, and I will post this in Google Classroom. I will post it on Google Calendar. All right? So page 9, you have 1 through 10. Let's turn to page 15, please. On page 15, draw a line there and put stop. You're just doing 1 through 10. Go to page 16. And at the top of 16, you write the word alt. Okay? Some of these will just go like that for you because if you look at the directions, they are your lengthy questions. Okay? So 9, 15, and 16. But you're not doing all of them on those pages. Okay? Questions? Ezra? Did you have a question? Cesar?
So we're gonna do together all by ourselves.
You're doing these by yourself. This is your assignment, your practice to see how well you understand it on your own. It is due tomorrow. We will go over the answers tomorrow and have opportunity for questions. Yes?
Can you utilize this study hall?
What?
Can you utilize this in our study hall class?
Oh, definitely. If you have your study hall class today, this would be something you would take to study hall with you. Okay, but you've got some study time now as well. Okay? So every day I plan on giving you study time to work on this so that if you have questions for understanding, you've got time to be asking. Okay? Yes,
So this and this homework.
and page 9.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Typically I don't have 3 different pages, but we got behind yesterday a little bit. And I don't think these are real hot and heavy, long assignments today. Okay? Anything else? Anybody from home? Okay. Those of you at home then, I'm signing out because it's just study time unless you have any particular questions for me. Anybody from home? If so, unmute now and ask your question. Okay, then those of you at home, I'm going to go ahead and end the session. I see no questions popping up.
It's only me and you in the chat.
There's several still in. I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting.
There's only, oh, I was looking at the chat.